Hello everyone. I'm Professor Nikhath Seema, Department of Psychology, Assistant Professor at Kristu Jayanti College. Today I'm here to introduce you to a very important topic under the chapter of intelligence. Let's look into what the different types of theories that give us intelligence. Today's topic we are going to discuss on Thurston's theory of intelligence, which is also known as the multifactorial theory. Let me give you an introduction of who Thurston was. Louis Leon Thurston was a pioneering psychologist who proposed a multifactorial model of intelligence in contrast to the idea of a single general factor, which was the G factor. He identified 7 primary mental abilities that he believed were the core components of human intelligence. Let's look into now the different primary mental abilities that was given by Thurston. Firstly, verbal comprehension. Now, this is the ability to understand and use language effectively, including knowledge of vocabulary, grammar, syntax, and the ability to understand complex ideas and arguments expressed in written and spoken language. It refers to the ability of the person to understand and use various words, sentences, language, or other verbal content pieces. This ability can be assessed through vocabulary tests, jumble word tests, and verbal or reading comprehension tests. The second one is the numerical ability. The ability to work with numbers and solve mathematical problems, which includes the numerical reasoning, basic arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and statistics. It involves the ability of an individual to do quick and accurate numerical computations. It can be measured by checking the accuracy and speed of a person in solving various arithmetic problems. The third one is the spatial ability. This ability to think and reason about objects in a 3-dimensional space, including the ability to mentally manipulate objects and to visualize spatial relationships. It also refers to the spatial visualization of the person. This ability comes to play when person tries to understand the manipulations of various real or imaginary objects in space. The test that measures the ability involves solving various kinds of puzzles, understanding various geometric figures, and identifying the correct mirror image of objects or choosing the correct image of the object when it is rotated by different angles. Let's move on to the next, which is the perceptual speed. The ability to quickly, accurately perceive and identify virtual stimuli, including the ability to recognize patterns, discriminate between similar objects, and to detect changes in visual stimuli is what is known as the perceptual speed. It also involves the ability of the person to rapidly recognize and compare the specific images, numbers, or letters, and to accurately proofread various types of content. Tests like picture completion, rapid crossing specific letters from a series of numbers, and finding particular words in the paragraphs are used to measure the perceptual speed factor of the individual. Moving on to the fifth primary ability given by Thurston is called as the inductive reasoning. The ability to identify patterns and relationships in information and make generalizations based on that information. This kind of reasoning involves the ability to deduce a general principle from the specific concept. The ability is measured through various tests like number series, word series, and classification of words or numbers. The inductive reasoning tests may involve selecting an appropriate number or image according to the sequential order of the given numbers or image series. Moving on to the next, in place 6, we have the ability to store and retrieve information, including short-term memory, long-term memory, and the working memory. The memory ability over here refers to the person who can quickly memorize the various concepts of phenomena and retain them for a longer period of time. The memory tests like asking the participants to learn nonsense syllables and their ability to remember them could be a measure of their memory. The ability to recall the learned concepts by the students during the exam is largely dependent on the primary ability factor, which is memory. Finally, we have come to the last ability given by Thurston, which is the word fluency. The ability to generate many words in a short period of time, including the ability to use language creatively and to generate novel ideas. When a person is asked to rapidly speak several isolated words or sentences, then verbal fluency comes into play. A person with high verbal fluency may excel in this task, while the person with low verbal fluency may have difficulty in this task. This factor is responsible for the communication skills of the individual. The tests to measure this factor may involve asking participants to rapidly think of words that begin or end with a specific letter. Let us look at the emphasis that Thurston has given in his theory. Thurston believed that each of these primary mental abilities was relatively independent of others, meaning that it could be strong in one area but weak in another. However, he also recognized the existence of a general factor that accounted for some of the variations in scores across the primary abilities. This general factor, which Thurston called, was the intelligence. And he thought to present the overall cognitive ability and was similar to the G factor proposed by Spearman. Thurston's theory emphasized the importance of specific abilities and rejected the idea that intelligence was a single, unitary concept. He believed that understanding the primary mental abilities that contribute to intelligence, psychologists could gain a more nuanced understanding of how people think and process information. Moving on to the criticism and influence of Thurston's theory. While Thurston's theory has been criticized for its lack of empirical support and for its somewhat arbitrary selection of primary abilities, it has had a lasting impact on the field of psychology and has contributed to many nuanced understanding of the nature of intelligence. Thurston's approach has also influenced more recent theories of intelligence, such as Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, which also emphasizes the importance of specific cognitive abilities. Moving on to a summarization of Thurston's group factor theory of intelligence. This is also known as the multiple factor of intelligence, which was proposed by L. Thurston in the 1930s. Thurston believed that intelligence is not a single entity, but rather a combination of distinct primary mental abilities. He identified 7 primary mental abilities that he believed were the foundation of intelligence. We've come to the end of the presentation. Let me conclude the session with a conclusion where Thurston's model suggests that these abilities are distinct yet interrelated, forming a more nuanced view of intelligence than a single measure. His work has significantly influenced the field of psychometrics and the development of intelligence testing. Thank you everyone for watching this video and giving me your valuable time. I hope this video has been of a new variable for you to understand intelligence. Thank you everyone.